country are you located? I know, but why don't you tell all these beautiful people where you're located at?
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm just outside of Metro Detroit. My office is located in Trenton. So yeah, it's the suburbs of Detroit. Like, when they say the song by what is it? My God. Oh my God. Perry, come on. What's his name? Journey. Yeah.
Journey.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah. So they say South Detroit. South Detroit doesn't really exist. It's southeastern, but that's our claim to fame. So there you go.
There you go. That's the claim to fame.
That's it. Yeah.
Awesome. So why don't you tell us just a little bit like when did you get started in real estate?
I got started in real estate in 2001.
Yeah.
I know, it's really hard to believe, like looking at this youthful face.
I still don't.
But I know, still. So yeah, 2001, I got started, and that was an interesting little journey because I did the old, burn the ships at the shore moment. I got laid off from a real job, quote unquote, and had a mortgage and all those fun things. So I just showed up every day like I had a real job to go to,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where a lot of people, where it's that burning the boats mentality, right? Where you have no other choice but to show up like it's a real job. I know we were talking about that on one of these past ones where it's, if you were the boss of you in real estate, would you fire you? Right.
Right. Would you fire you? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Would you fire you?
And
I would have been fired. I don't know. I would have been fired. I'm a little bit of a rebel, so I don't always like to play by the rules. So maybe I probably would have been fired, Nick. I don't know, but I think my employer would definitely see the work ethic in me. So maybe the risk might have been worth the reward. I think that it might have been at this point in the game, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So
back on.
But before we dive into like everything we're talking about today, I'm just curious, how long did it take you in the business? Because like you said, you've been in since 2001. To really start nailing down your goals, the quarterly planning, and everything that we're going to be talking about here today.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. I had the lucky exposure of being introduced to actually somebody that's jumped on this call here today, and family member. I had a lucky introduction to the Mike Ferry organization in like 6 months, first 6 months in the business.
Wow. Yeah.
So within my first 6 months in the business, I was exposed to how to create a business plan, which actually leads me a little bit into the piece of the journey. I don't know, Nick, maybe I shared with you before. I know people are just popping on here, but one of the things that really got me hooked and passionate about real estate is that the way I was raised, my parents, unlike I think a lot of parents, didn't have goals for me. My parents didn't say you must go to college and you must get good grades and you must, do these things and here's how you're going to set the standard. My parents didn't. They were sort of, and my friends would reflect back and say, your house was so great, I could be myself. My parents were just more like, welcome, come over, have fun, relax, stay out of trouble. But they weren't those hard driving parents. So when I got into real estate and I learned about goal setting and business planning, that's where I was hooked, man. I was like, what?
Yeah.
You can, this is a thing. This is a thing. Yeah.
So you learned that about 6 months in, you were saying, with the Mike Ferry organization?
Yeah. I was probably I was about 6 months in, maybe. Definitely within my first year, but I want to say the first 6 months that I was like, oh, you write this stuff down, you make a daily plan and a course of action, and wow, you can, oh my gosh, that's how that works. It was, I was way too old to have learned that lesson, but thank God I learned it.
All right. So guys, here we are at the top of the hour. If you guys are coming back, welcome back. We do these every 2 weeks. We bring on some of the best speakers that I know across the nation to come on here and bring value to you guys. And that's exactly why we brought on Michelle Saward here. Michelle, for the past 7 years, has been doing over 185 transactions year over year, totaling over 2,000 career sales. And I'll tell you what, guys, there will be questions here today because Michelle is going to be dropping some absolute knowledge on you guys. We're going to be sharing our screen, going over some things. If you guys have questions, we're going to go through them one by one in the comments. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and comment below. You see our Instagram tags in there too. If you guys feel like taking a picture, which I know you'll be inspired to when you hear Michelle speak, go ahead and drop our tags in there as well. So without further ado, when I reached out to you about this topic, so, I always reach out to the speakers because I know some of our network here in the industry, it's some of the top people in the industry. And I'm always like, what is the one topic you believe in more than anything else? And it was quick. You sent me that video, that voice message back. You're like, oh my gosh. So I do have I have this one thing, which has been helping me since the beginning. So why don't you tell us, what did you tell me in that voice message when I said, what is that one topic?
Oh my God. Nick, you gotta.
No, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be a quote, but I know you're like, well, I'm just leaving. I think you're like, I'm just leaving the gym, but like, here it is. This is what I'm going to be telling you.
Yeah. It was really, I think the conversation was, man, I talk about real estate for days.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it so much. But you have to jog my memory because I was in the car driving home. Like you have to jog my memory. What did I say?
So it's really about the goal setting, how important it is, especially in the fourth quarter, since the time of year we're getting into. It's setting the goals, setting you up for success, getting the business plan set up, and having everything set up for you. So it's like, all right, the fourth quarter isn't the time to take off. It's the time to really take over.
Right. Oh, yes. Yes. Well, I think that's kind of where we were going with the beginning of this of like, hey, I learned goal setting.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So we're speaking the same language.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I learned goal setting and this is it. So, yes, wholeheartedly agree. So dominating this fourth quarter, is really what the topic of the conversation is about. And, I don't know if you want me to start rolling or if you want me to give people a few more minutes.
Let's go. Oh, no. We start at the top of the hour because I know everybody here's time is very valuable. We're 3 minutes in. We got through the introductions. And Michelle, why don't you kind of get us started with the goal setting mindset?
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, this conversation is dominated fourth quarter. And I'm sorry if I'll go on and on because I can talk about days. It is my passion. It is my drive. It is, it's really what inspires me, really. Yeah. I'm in sync with that, you know? So they say, work your passion, do what invigorates you. And that's exactly, what I'm living and what I'm doing and what I'm breathing right now. So that's why I think we're really blessed to be in this. And so dominating the fourth quarter, and I'm looking over here to my notes a little bit, because yes, I put notes in advance because this is how I operate. Dominating the fourth quarter, the truth is that your fourth quarter, okay, fine. It already started, right? It started October 1st. Yeah. But the good news is it ain't over.
Right.
That's the good news. It ain't over until the end of the year. Right. Mm-hmm. So don't be saying to me, Michelle, today is the whatever day of the month it is. I don't even know. The 20th of the month.
Right.
Right. I missed first 3 weeks. No, I'm calling BS on that. You can still finish strong is the point. Yeah. You've got time. If you think about it, whatever you're going to write as an offer today, it's going to close in 30, 45 days, right? So there is still this great opportunity to finish strong, but what it's going to take is that, we really got to talk about 4 things for this to be a finish strong year, really. Yeah. And that's what we got to do, Nick. And those 4 things that we need to cover today, and that's my goal on this call to deliver to y'all, is mindset is number 1. If you want to finish strong for the fourth quarter. Oh, I see people writing this down. Yes, write this down, please. Thank you so much. I see everyone's heads go down, the little pencils. That's kind of cool. I love these cameras. So first, the 4 things to finish strong this year. Number 1, mindset. Number 2, planning. And number 3, we got training. And 4, execution.
Yep.
No, not that. Execution. Delivering on it. So mindset, planning, training, execution. Those are the 4 things to finish your last quarter strong. And let me say this, in that order. It's important. These things need to happen in that order. Nick, you and I had a conversation about this, right? Because I was like, I'm going to go into the tactics.
Yeah.
And you're like, hold on, some of this stuff isn't going to mean anything.
Well, yeah,
unless your head's on straight, right?
yeah, and I think that's why it's so important because like I know not everyone here gets their information from social media, but it's very hard not to be swayed sometimes by the things we're seeing about how the market's going down and like you be like it almost gets you in that fear mentality, especially
Right.
going into this fourth quarter. Business normally slows down and the market, the place it's in, it's like it could be terrifying for people with what's going on. But I know that's why I'm like, I know you're not thinking that. You're like, man, this is the time to take over, not take off.
Yeah, well, it is. It is a time to take over. But I think it's a time. It definitely is a time to take over. We're gonna talk about that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's a runway to take off for the beginning of the year for
yeah.
sure. 100% it is. But mindset. That's why I say these 4 things need to happen in this order: mindset, planning, training, and execution. Is because number one, if your mindset isn't right,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter what you do in execution. If you're not focused in the right frame of mind, you could be doing all the wrong activities, right? Or you won't bear fruit. It won't be fruitful, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish for the end of the year, whatever that goal is that you've set out. So, so making sure that you're doing things consistently every single day, that's going to help you deliver on that plan. And like I said, number one is getting your mindset right. So, that's why I'm saying put these in this order. Like you can do all the training that you want, but if you're training, and you're not performing, you're just learning and you're absorbing and you're not taking it in, but you're not creating that consistent action, you're gonna have a problem on your hands, friends.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, I mean, this is the time of the year where you can really be intentional and shift your focus
Hmm.
as to how you're going to end strong and how you're going to launch the beginning of the year. So mindset, this is what I want to say about that. The first thing I always tell myself, and I don't know where I picked this up, maybe I made it up, maybe I heard it.
It's a
I
Michelle
probably
Saward
heard it.
original right here.
I heard it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
probably heard it. I'm not that original, I guess, but remind yourself, there is what's going on in the world economy, but then there's going on in your economy.
Ooh. Can you say that again?
And
When you said that, that really rang true for me. I was like, dang, that's a great quote.
your economy.
Yeah.
So quiet the noise, who, I don't care what the world is saying.
Yeah.
What are you saying? What is it that you want? So don't fall into that victim mentality of people are buying and selling and blah, blah, blah. No, you know what? I just painted my home office. Mama needs some art. This is what's going on in my world right now. So what am I going to do to bring in some money and to, now redecorate once I painted my home office, right? Like what's going on in my economy? What do I want? I've got a nice trip and vacation plan for the beginning of the year. What's going on in my world, right? So working on first and foremost, what's going on between your ears.
Yeah.
So otherwise, if you don't control what's going on between your own ears, you're going to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off, which if you've been doing that for 3/4 of the year already, it's time to stop. It's taking little steps every single morning to figure out what fills you up, what motivates you, what inspires you, right? I know plenty of people on this call that spend their mornings the same way that I spend my mornings,
Yeah.
which is I grab my phone and while I'm brushing my teeth or running around the house or on the treadmill or whatever it is I'm doing,
Right.
I'm filling my mind full of something that gets me going. It's not going to be the same for everybody, right? It could be an awesome song that invigorates you. It could be some positive content that you're consuming in the real estate game. It could be a fantastic book that you're reading. It could be gratitude. So please write this down. Those are some memory joggers. Good content in the morning. What does that look like for you? Because this is going to be baked into your business plan for the beginning of the year. It's going to be part of your routine and your schedule and part of your execution. And we're going to come down that path in just a bit. But put that as part of your daily plan. What are you going to do every single day to make sure you're waking up with the right spirit? Not every day is going to be great, but you know what? Even on days that you're waking up and it's not great, step out of bed, throw your back out. At least you got something that you can gravitate towards and remind yourself of like what you're committed to and what you're focused on. And it will help you get back on track. Right. So, so number 2, let's go into it. Number 2 thing. So we said mindset,
Yeah.
get it on right, figure it out, have some good self-talk, make that part of your daily plan. We're going to get to that. Number 2 is the planning. Nick, I think I sent you a picture.
You did. Let's go ahead and bring it up. Here
I
we
did.
go.
All right,
So
cool.
Scrooge, can you allow me to share my screen here? You got to make sure that that is up.
All right, cool. Whenever you get to it, whatever.
Here we go.
Yeah. So planning planning. That's what I said. So that's me in my basement doing my workout with no makeup on. Hope you enjoy that picture. You can
Beautiful.
it's a quick one.
Fantastic.
But I bought a 6x6 vision board, right? 6 foot by 6 foot. Not, it's big. And I put that up in my basement where my treadmill is. And so, if your part of your planning is to create your vision for your life. Because if you don't create some sort of thing that you're going towards or that you're inspired by or that invigorates or excites you, you're going to question every single day what this motivational conversation and why are you listening to these podcasts and why are you listening to these books and why you even give a crap about gratitude, right? That's great. I'm listening to some good music, but what does this mean for my life? Your dream board doesn't look like my dream board. It's your dream board. There's probably some dudes on here. They're going to have some fancy cars. I don't care about the fancy car.
So you got a good truck out down there.
What's that? Yeah.
Is that a good truck right behind you? Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's going to be part of part of your business plan of what you're going to create to have a strong fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It's not too late. Start creating this vision now. Even what you want to do from now until the end of the year. I don't care, because you can do another dream board that goes from now until 2023, right? So you can do, I don't care, do 2 of them. You can't have too many.
Rose, make sure you mute people.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, 95% of people, I got some people.
Yeah. Rose, can you mute everybody?
Okay, cool. Thank you.
There we go. And Michelle, before we move on from this vision board, I think it's really important because, I know what some people say, like, oh, vision boards, those can be corny, or like, I see some people do it, but I haven't gotten around to it or haven't taken it seriously enough. So why is it so important to have this vision board there with you? Especially like, I love the location of where you have it, like while you're working out, like having that vision board right there. So like, why is it so important to make sure that you create this?
It keeps the dream alive, right?
Yeah.
Like literally, I'm doing something I hate. I'm doing sit-ups.
Yeah.
and I'm looking up at it and I'm like, oh, that's a picture of Greece.
Right.
Am I going to look terrible in my bathing suit in Greece?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
Right.
I would like to feel good and feel confident when I go to Greece. You see a trail that I want to hike.
Yeah.
I want to feel accomplished when I'm hiking that trail. Right. So that's from the working out thing. And then I think about, I'm going to need the energy to sustain, for me, it's my husband's truck is on there or whatever, but I'm going to need the energy to sustain the income required to get these things. So how am I going to get more energy? I'm building energy every single day. Right. So put this where, I like having my workout place because workout spaces are usually generally ugly. And my dream board, quite frankly, to me, I have a high aesthetic value and I don't like random pieces of paper posted all over the place. But put it somewhere you're going to see it every day. That's part of mindset, and that is part of planning. Don't think that it's not. They're not separate. It's all connected, folks. So 95% of people don't create a plan. If 95% of people don't create a plan, then they're certainly not creating their vision boards, right? So if you want to be in the top 5%, act like the top 5% now. Do what they do now, right? So from that, this dream board or vision board is also going to help you decide what you're going to put in your business plan. So I'll have like a link that you can drop on here if you want. Nick, I don't know if you want to do the screen share of whatever, if people want to walk through it. But
I'm on it.
You got it? Okay, whatever. Okay, that's cool. All right, good. I didn't know if you had it, wanted it. But business planning, I'm going to slow this down for a minute because this is important. I mean, this is all part of planning.
Right.
So business planning. So I have a business plan that I've worked with forever. I sort of modified a little bit the Mike Ferry one. because that's where I learned it from originally 20
You want to
some
go to
years
your
ago.
business plan or this Mind Movies?
Hmm?
Do you want to go
I
to your
don't know
business
what this
plan?
is.
Oh,
Hmm?
that's the link that you put in there.
Oh, okay. All
So here
right.
we go.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. All right, there we go. Cool. Thank you, Nick. So, and
Gotcha.
if you want this to print for yourself, we'll have a link at the end of this. You can click on, you can
We'll,
print it
we'll
for
send out
yourself.
the downloadables to everybody after this, and we'll include that into it.
Thank you. I
Yep.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So business planning, it starts with something really simple,
Yeah.
which is, what is your transaction goal going to be? Yep. We're talking about 2023 right now. Hang on, Michelle. We're supposed to end the fourth quarter strong. I know, but this is going to be part of it. You're going to have to set the intention to get your runway for the beginning of next year, which means you're starting right now. If you start now, you're going to have a 15-month year. You're not going to have a 12 months year. You're going to have a 15-month year if you start this now. If everyone says that they want more time in the day, this is how you get it, y'all. You start now. This is it.
Right.
So when other agents are saying they got 12 months to get it done, you had 15.
Right.
So it'll help you finish strong, and it will give you great leverage, to run and jump into the beginning of the year. So here we go. So this is what's included in your business plan, which is so we're going to start about what our transaction goal is for the year and what your income goal is going to be for the 2023, right?
Yeah.
And then you can do that by recapping your previous year's production. All right, this year I did 40 deals. Okay, cool. What's my transaction goal for 2023? Do I think I can do an extra deal a month? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go to 52. One deal a week.
Right.
Like, is that possible? And make sure you're not creating something that's, I don't know, people say 10x it, baby. I disagree. I disagree. I like to win. I'm competitive. And I want to create a goal that I can win at. I like to create that I know I got this. I feel good about it. I'm going to, create something. If you want to 10x it, 10x.
That's what comes down to like your business plan too, right? Like you said, like if you want to do 10x deals, then you're going to have to make 10x phone calls in a day based on where you're at before, or run the ads. It's like, what are you going to be able to do within this next year?
Right. Absolutely. So, all right. So then you've got with your transaction goal, then you're going to have your income goal. You should know, if you don't know, take a look at your, broker spreadsheets or whatever, or ask your broker, look at your MLS. You should be able to divide out what your average commission is. So the number of units, multiply it by your commission. You should be able to figure out what the income goal looks like. And sometimes you should create the income goal first and then base it on the transaction goal. You can do it that way too. So whatever works for you to fill those in. And so recapping the last year's production, to create those production and transactional goals so that you can figure out those. And then we're going to move into the daily schedule and then identify your challenges and solutions. So, okay, cool. So we've got that. Where's my, oh my God, I'm moving through my notes really quick. All right, cool. So, so this is really what it looks like. And again, we'll have, the detailed breakdown. And Nick said he's going to pop it out there to you guys. So I see people taking pictures. You'll get it. You can click it and print it. It's easy. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. But you're going to have to break it down. You're going to have to take a look at, okay, this is what I was paid. How many total listing appointments do I want to go on? What are going to be the listings sold that I'm taking? Take a look at what is, and I'm moving kind of quick now. Like I said, your average commission check.
Yeah.
Present pending inventory, how many days you want to work.
There you go.
It's kind of big, actually.
That is a really big one. Well, I think a lot of times too, like just thinking about this, a lot of times when we talk to agents, it's like, all right, what's your income goal for the year? It's like, oh, I want to get to this point. Well, so you're going to have to do double the work. So what's your goal of doing with that money? Like, well, I want to go on this vacation. So it's really important, like you were saying, to figure out how many days do you want to work? And then taking a look at that vision board and be like, can I accomplish some of these things in the next year if I plan on working this many days?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to work less days in the year? Everybody wants less days in the year. Right. But is that going to be realistic for the goals that you have set? You have to decide for yourself what that trade-off is going to be, right?
I don't know. Al Abdallah does love dialing. So I think he might dial on vacation for fun.
He probably does.
Probably does.
I wouldn't doubt it. He does love dialing.
Yeah.
but so decide for yourself, like, okay, what is that going to look like for you?
Yeah.
And maybe many of you, I'm sure, might not have ever, created a business plan or seen a business plan before. But this is so imperative to just sit down and take a look at what this is going to look like for you, and compare it and contrast with last year's production. I know I said that before, but it's super important that you look at the sources of your business, so that you can dial in where it is that you're going to go and spend your time in 2023, and finish up 2022 attacking that source. So if you have crushed it this year with for sale by owners, guess what? You're going to be doing a lot more of in 2023 to make your life easier. Right. Don't think, well, it's easier if I just call my sphere when I crushed it on for sale by owners. You're going to have to move into what's hard. And this is the part that, Nick, I said to you, people aren't going to like me when they hear this part of the conversation.
Yeah.
If you want to end the fourth quarter strong, you're going to need to go hard on what was successful this entire first 3 quarters of the year.
Well, I think that's where it gets difficult, because we get that shiny object syndrome, especially with social media. Like, man, I see this person crushing it with TikTok. This person crushing it with Instagram. This person says they're crushing it here. And then you get so bogged down with all this information. It's like, wait, I just did 35 deals this last year on this. Why would I do anything different, or like to push it forward?
Dude, don't even get me started. Look, you can get fantastic leads from social media. I'm not going to deny that. You absolutely can. But when I talked about like filling your mind, and I'm going to go back to, I'm moving a little bit ahead. When I talked about filling your mind and your mindset, we're going to move into, after we have the business plan in place, we're going to talk about training. Because if you don't know what to say after you got that lead, you got another problem on your hands. So no matter what, you're going to need to start filling your mind with positive content and positive, juju of training, mindset, motivation, like those kinds of things. So that's super important to put into this. So, okay. So we're going back on here. So we've recapped. We've got our, here we go. Production goals.
Yep.
We got the numbers required to achieve those goals. All right. You might say, Michelle, I don't know, part 3 on here, listing appointments to listings taken. I didn't really track that. Guess what? This last quarter of the year, you start tracking it. You got to start tracking it. If you've got to, I just tossed it out because it was it was looking real shabby. I wish I had it here for showing you purposes.
Yeah.
You know those little grandma calendars that they put in their purse? You know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about, yeah.
Like everybody's grandma's got one that's like, I don't know, they're like the size of the giant Post-it note, and they're like, oh, sweetie, let me get my calendar.
Yeah.
And they open it up like this, right? And they say, like, I literally would carry one of these with me everywhere. So I could jot down through the course of the day, went on a listing appointment. Yes, I got it. No, I didn't get it. Made a phone call, hashtag, or not a hashtag, tick mark. I made a phone call. How many calls did I make in a day?
Right.
And I don't care if you set a goal for yourself to talk to 25 people a day, you better write that down and document it. Because you need to know where to focus your time, energy, and resources. And you need to know how to create a good business plan for the next year. So these Post-it notes in my car have been my best friend.
Yeah.
Literally, you could pull one off. I'm telling you, don't get in a car accident.
Yeah.
Stick it on your armrest with your ink pen and put a little line when you talk to somebody, even if you're talking on your phone with your AirPods.
That's where it gets fun too, because my background, I used to work at a call center. So I was working 15 hours a day on the phones. Right.
Yeah.
So what made it fun and made it easier when I started to sell our services on that side of it too, is then you could work backwards. Then you could say, all right, I have 100 phone calls. I get this many appointments. Out of this many appointments, this many show up. If that many showed up, I'm going to close this many deals. My average sales point is 300,000. So now I can start saying, well, my commission on that, based on that, for dialing, I'm now working at $500 an hour. Wow. Dialing becomes a lot more fun. And now I don't miss those sessions, because I know if I miss a session, I just lost $500.
You know what else is cool?
What's that?
Is that when you start tracking your numbers, you know that when you talk to 20 people, you get an appointment. And if you've only talked to 18 in a day, you you know, you only got to talk to like 2 more before you're going to get a yes.
Right. Right.
Or you know what? I went a whole day. I talked to 20 people. I didn't get a yes. That must mean tomorrow I'm going to get a yes. I'm
I'm
going to
gonna
get
get
a
two
couple of
yeses.
yeses.
Yeah.
Like you can start to play games with yourself about
Yeah.
how close you are to winning.
Right.
So when I say that I like to win, I like to set attainable goals that I can win at. It's because
Yeah.
I'm competitive and I like play that game with myself.
Yeah.
Right. So you can make a game of it. So yeah, so start tracking it now.
Yeah.
This is super important. The daily schedule. All right. We're going to jot some of this stuff down.
All right, let's go.
Part of your daily schedule. You're going to start that morning off. I don't care what time you wake up. Plug in, change these times. If you want to change these times for yourself, you're like 7 a.m. lazy. 4 a.m. I do my mindset, right? So first section of this should be your mindset. What are you doing first thing in the morning to get your head on straight that makes you feel good?
Right.
Positivity.
What are some things that you do, Michelle?
I do a variety, actually. I do what I'm in the mood for.
Yeah.
I listen to, if I'm really focused on the education training portion,
Yeah.
I'm going to be downloading people who are selling way more houses than me and consuming their content, right?
Yeah.
I don't care if it's something on market conditions. I don't care if it's somebody sharing how they nailed their listing presentation, objections, script skills. We have role play, which anyone wants to jump on. It's 5 days a week.
Yeah.
7:30 a.m. You can jump onto a role play conversation, hear that other agents are winning or having successes or what they're doing to win. Just something that's going to fill your mind. I'm listening to some great books on gratitude, podcasts. Man, they're free and easy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know, Tom Bilyeu's got some great stuff. E.T., I like Steve Harvey. He's funny. Like
Steve Harvey is really good. He makes it comical, but man, he's got some really inspirational stuff on there as
got
well.
some good stuff. Like there's
Cleveland,
so
man.
many people you can plug into. Some
Yeah.
of the old stuff, oh my God, listening to Napoleon Hill, like
Yeah.
his little creaky voice on audio is pretty good. So just filling in your morning schedule to have that on there. And then we're going to move into, which is the other part people are going to hate me for.
Oh, I like it already.
Here it comes, y'all. Well, I'll go back on the mid part of the day on the calendar.
I'm back.
On the mid part of the calendar, you need to
Yeah.
have a time block in there. You need to have a time block in there where you're focused only on your one thing, which is growing your business
Yeah.
to dominate your fourth quarter and to crush the new year.
Yeah.
Moving into the new year. You need to block off, you're going to kill me, 2 to 4 hours. What did she say? Yep.
Yeah.
2 to 4 hours. My schedule for more than 20 years has been, I don't take any appointments before 12:30 a.m. 12:30. No appointments before lunch.
12:30 p.m. Yeah. Yeah.
None. None before lunch. My morning is for business building.
Hmm.
And I don't care what's going on in the world. I promise you, I have never had a conflict that I couldn't satisfy.
Yeah.
Of something that had to happen in the morning. If you have to pay another real estate agent a couple bucks to go to a home inspection for you, do it. If that's the only time that doctor can get his home inspection done.
Right.
Right. So I promise they won't be mad at you. You have a conflict, it's okay. You just stand firm on what you're building.
Well, I think that's really important. That was something that I learned early on. If you lose someone because you can't do it before 12:30, that means you never really had them.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
That's what he said. Yeah.
That's what he said. But then afternoon.
Yep.
I don't really, I don't care how late you work. I can't. Everyone says be home at a reasonable time. And maybe you're driven to be home at a reasonable time. But go on your appointments in the afternoon. I say, I don't care what time you get home. I'd take a listing appointment at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Right. And I'd get home at like 7:30, 8 o'clock some nights. But if I was focused on my goal, then you're going to do what you got to do to get it done. Right. And maybe that's not the case for you all the time. Maybe you're blocking out something hard in your schedule of like, you know what, every Sunday I'm off. I don't care. It's not, this is more important to me. But filling in this time block schedule, this is part of goal setting.
Yep.
This is part of being exceptional. This is sticking to the plan that you've created. Are you going to win every single day? No. But you know what? The more days that you're consistent in action, the better off you're going to be. right? You can't just say, oh, I ate pumpkin pie one time, I'm off my diet for the rest of my life, right? It doesn't work like that. Okay. All right. Moving right along. Design your plan.
So we had this now.
Yeah. And you're going to come across some challenges, as I said.
Yeah.
Challenge number one, I ate pumpkin pie. No, I'm just kidding. You're going to come across some challenges. So identify what those are for you. All right. Challenge is going to be my kid is in sports. How am I going to figure out these appointments and get my kid to sports? Challenge is going to be, I've made some other commitment that I certainly can't get around. Challenge is going to be, I like to sleep in. Challenge is going to be my schedule and getting a grip about that.
Yeah.
So really pinpoint for yourself where you're on the struggle bus and call it out now. Own it, call it out. Because if you keep ignoring it, it's going to keep sneaking up on you. So just identify what it is that you may come up with.
Yeah, I think a big part of this too is like think outside of business as well, because like whatever happens behind the scenes will eventually show up in your business.
100% it will.
Yeah.
Absolutely it will. So, okay. All right. So we got that. There's a couple pages of challenges because there are going to be a lot of them.
Yeah, I like that. Right. You kept it real on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, okay, take a look at that.
Yeah.
So now we've got the business planning part. You got your vision building out of the way for the last quarter of the year. You've got your business plan created. Now you've got 3 extra months of runway so you can really dominate the new year and finish strong this year. You're setting the tone in this last quarter. What's working? What's not working? What are the problems? What are the solutions? How can I realign my life to fit what it is that I want to create? Right. And when you start to see momentum in these last couple months of the year, you're going to go into it with such confidence and strength and power that you've got the tools needed for the new year to just absolutely crush it.
Right.
So this is trading your brain every single day to remain in the game. That's what this is. That's what we're creating right now. And you're going to be looking at this stuff every day. We just created an entire day for you so far. Well, almost. We're not done. We got the execution part.
Yeah.
And the training part. We've just created a day that's set up for you to win.
Right.
Right. So on the training part, I'm going to move into that. That's number 3.
Yeah.
Now that we got business planning on the training part, then, I talked about like filling your head with good stuff. It's so important that you stay plugged in to not just what's going on in the market, but important that you stay plugged into what are relevant real estate conversations, and that you're staying plugged into educating and training yourself on what other people are doing to have success. Who you surround yourself with is who you're going to become. And you can surround yourself even through social media with who it is that you want to become.
Right.
Right. Look, Nick and I are hanging out. But like we're, this
through social
I'm just
media,
saying,
really. Yeah.
Right. So like just staying in that elevated state, because if you're not staying in that elevated state, you're going to fall to the level of your training, essentially. Yeah. So stay first.
So I have a question for you, which can be a little bit twofold questions. So, especially like how you're saying too, like if you're crushing FSBOs, like go out there and do that more. So are you going to go out there and look for people who are crushing FSBOs better in your training, or looking for something completely different?
Go ahead and find your jam.
Right.
Crushing FSBOs, crushing social media, crushing expired listings. Who's doing really, really well with sphere of influence? My thing last year was sphere of influence.
Yeah.
I just learned a cool thing that instead of giving out a closing gift to the parents, give it to the kids, give them candy bars so they can go around in the neighborhood and make friends with everybody. Yeah. Like what is going to be your thing that's really going to give you staying and sticking power? Handwritten letters. What is going to really up your game, right? Letting people know you appreciate whatever it is that you need to do that you could do better. What's your quarterly plan for staying in front of your clients, right? Like just hone in on whatever it is that's working.
Michelle, check this out. Check this closing gift out. I got to bring it up because it was just too good. So this closing gift, I learned this at my mom's cousin's and something along those lines that I ended up going back to. So we walked into her house, and the first thing my mom said is, "Oh, that's such a nice family picture." And she looked at her, and for the next 20 minutes, they talked about how the real estate agent came back over, took a family picture, framed it, put it in the house, and they talked about this real estate agent for like 20 minutes. Taking that family picture when they came back, that I was like, dude, I was just sitting there in awe. I'm like, I did not know I was going to get one of the best coaching segments at my mom's aunt's cousin's play, like whatever it was, his place. But it was amazing just how she instantly started talking about how amazing she was. And they talked about the family picture. But that closing gift idea, I thought that was genius.
That is genius.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? It's a picture. You're buying picture frames. That's it.
Right.
But it made them feel special.
Exactly.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Dive deeper into, okay, what is going to be your thing that you're known for? And that training that I'm talking about, it's going to be even more than that, because training, bring it into what are you going to say once you land these appointments? What are you going to say when you're sitting at the table getting the listing signed? Because it's not as easy as it used to be over the past 10 years. It's getting a little harder.
Yeah.
So if you got an appointment and you're sitting in front of a client, you better make sure that you've had enough good stuff filled in your brain to know how to handle that conversation when the seller says to you, what do you mean on average, it's taken 25 days to get a home sold right now? Michelle, my neighbor just sold their house in 4 days. Yeah, they sold their house in 4 days, 6 months ago. Like, you need to know how to handle that conversation and level expectation that you're still going to be considered reigning champion and they're going to want to work with you.
Right.
So start to do a little bit of research and tune in online of whatever you're plugging into, of like, who's doing this at a high level and who can teach me how to handle these objections. Right. Plug into, I don't care if you call me, I don't care, whatever. We'll put you in the right mastermind group if you don't have one. Yeah. But get into a mastermind group or listen to some great content that's going to get you the skills that you need to get there. So, like I said, practicing those conversations and being in tune with not just the market conditions. This is what interest rates are. That's fine. You got to know that stuff too.
Right.
Stay relative to what's going on. And if you really think about it, what's the big opportunity here, right? And the big opportunity here is you're going to start grabbing market share when other people are throwing in the towel and making excuses. When other agents are tapping out, they're tapping out right now. People are back to school. It's winter. Interest rates are high. I've done pretty good so far this year. I've got some money. I'm okay. Like, you can just really kick back and chill.
Yeah.
That's a huge mistake. Huge mistake, because you're missing opportunity to build your database and to build clients for life. And if you turn into the person that went hard for people in a time when other agents are tapping out, then you're going to create such a reputation for yourself that it's going. Look, I have people that come back to me. I'm selling like grandkids' houses and kids' houses, right? Yeah. Like, I've sold mom and dad's house like 3 times, and now I'm calling, and now their kids are calling me, right? After 20 years of being in the business. I got some people nodding their heads like, yep. I see Jennifer. She's like, yep, that's how it goes. So because you show up consistently for people, right? Yeah. And they say, you know what? She was there for me. She went hard for me. You can't call anybody else. And that's what you're building right now. When you're putting in this mindset, this training, this plan, this routine, this schedule, people know that you're reliable. People know that they can count on you. People know that you are predictable and that this is your schedule and that you will go hard, go the extra mile for them.
I think that's where, like you were saying earlier, like the difference in, if you're focused on the world economy, you're like, oh man, interest rates, all of these things that are happening, it's slowing down. But what is your economy? What does your business plan say? Anywhere in your business plan, does it say take time off if interest rates go high? Did you write that down anywhere? Right? Like, I don't think anybody's going to say, I wrote down, I'm going to slow down because the world is telling me to. Nobody writes that shit down. But so unless we see it every single day in our business plan and focus on our own economy, right? I just love that quote you said. It's like, that's not my economy though.
Yeah, no, it's not my economy.
Yeah.
And get your eyes off that. Yeah, get your eyes off that. You got to
Yeah.
think about yourself and what you're trying to create. I'm gonna tell you the truth. This is the truth.
Oh, give
When
us
I
the
first got into here we go. When
yeah.
I first got into this real estate business,
Yeah.
there's a guy in my market, and Al knows him. I don't know if he's selling this call or not, but Al knows him. His name was
Oh, he's
Harry.
on the call.
Is he still okay? And
Yeah.
there was a guy in my market, and the guy was doing like, I don't know,
No,
200, 250 deals a year or something like that when I was a newbie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, it just seems so unreasonable,
Right.
so crazy. And I thought, if one day I could be
Yeah.
like him, probably not. And I'd shake my head no, like,
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen. No, this is nuts. That's nobody does that. Nobody does that. This is 20 years ago doing that kind of volume, right? And then I would track the numbers. They would come out, and the stats and your leaderboards or whatever, and your company puts those out. And I would track them, and I'd see where I rank, and I'm gonna beat Barb next month, and I'm gonna try like competitive, right? I want to win. I'm gonna win this month. And I would just try to chase those people and try to be on that leaderboard. And then the minute I got busy enough worrying about my own business, I quit tracking what they were doing. And when I quit tracking what other people were doing, I freaking took off. My business just soared. When I stopped watching other people and got focused on my own business. And that's what we're talking about here today. We're talking about dominating the last quarter and setting yourself up for a crushing 2023. It's focusing on your own business and your own self. You're going to get so busy once you create this routine and this schedule that you are not going to have time to worry about what other people are doing.
Yeah.
It's the gap in the gain, right?
Yeah.
It's measuring where you are now to where you want to be. It's not measuring what Nick Crum has done.
Right.
Right. It's measuring where I'm at now and where does it that I want to go. And that's why I say, okay, jot it down in your notebook. I want to make my 20 calls a day.
Yeah.
I want to go on, 3 appointments a week. Of those 3, I'm taking 2.
Yeah.
Listings. I'm taking 2, or whatever it is you're going to do. Right. And focus on yourself. And that's what I love. Like, tracking is just huge. So you're going to have to do things. I don't care. If you really want to win, you have to do things you don't want to do. You got to get over it fast. You're going to have to, oh my God. The hardest part about going to the gym is getting in the car.
Yeah.
It is. It's the hardest part, is getting in the car, because once your bag is packed and you're dressed and you're in the car, you don't have a choice. You just got to continue on with the work.
Yeah.
So, that's why I say, just keep putting yourself in that space. If you are making calls and you're following up on past clients, hey, you sold a home with me 2-3 years ago, just thought I'd touch base and see how things are going. And they get mad at you. Why are you calling me after 2 years? I'm not selling a house. I just bought it. And you're like, what? These people are nice to me, or something, right? For sale by owner screams at you for calling when you think, you read, it says for sale by owner, right? Expired listing. I took it off the market. Because I'm not selling. Don't call me. Get over it. That's their experience. That's their economy. What's going on in their head. That ain't what you're trying to create. So just keep it moving and don't let those little things take you down. And the faster you can recover from those kinds of conversations, the more that you're going to win. So, yeah, I mean, I just know that I know that there's so many real estate agents that are willing to take the one little lump that they get hit with and tap out.
Yeah.
And the goal is just to keep going, no matter what gets thrown at you. And there's going to be days that it's hard, but you're going to dominate the fourth quarter. You're going to have to go hard on those conversations that you thought, I'm off the hook now because it's the end of the year. For sale by owners need you now more than ever. They have no idea what they're walking into. Expired listings didn't exist before. Well, these people are grumpy, Michelle. Yeah.
No shit. They were just promised a dream that wasn't delivered.
Bam.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Right.
But those are the kinds of conversations you're going to have with people over and over again. Right? Is like, all right, they got a right to be upset. But what are you going to do to solve that problem and help them move forward? Right? How are you going to be the light for them? That's what I mean by go hard for people when other people are willing to tap out. What are you going to do to be the person that flips that script? And the more people, I say this all the time, everything that you want is on the other side of a conversation.
Ooh,
Everything you want is on the other side of a conversation.
that's so quotable, Michelle.
So the more people you bring into your ecosystem of having these conversations, the greater the likelihood you're going to get what you want on the other side of that conversation.
Yeah.
You know, one of my mentors would say all the time, there's a group of people that you know and a group of people you don't know. What group is bigger?
Wow. Ooh.
Which group is bigger?
Yeah.
It's the group of people that you don't know.
Yeah.
So to get in front of more people that you don't know, you're going to have to knock on more doors. You're going to have to do more posts. You're going to have to make more calls. You're going to have to talk to people that you don't like necessarily talking to. Some of my best and most amazing clients were, I'm going to say this, were really shitty to me when I first met them.
Yeah.
I had a repeat client. And he talked to me like I was condescending tone all the time.
Yeah.
He has bought and sold 3 houses from me. And I thought after the first time when he called me back, I was like, oh God, why is he calling?
Here we go.
Did his basement flood after like, you know, a year or something? Like,
Yeah.
just his tone, sounded like he was talking down on me. Like, yeah, well, Nick, you know, we listed it for 275 and this is not a 275 offer. So
Right.
like that was like the, you know, and he called me to
Right.
list it. And when he called me to list another house, his new wife's house, because they just
Yeah.
got married.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God. I
Here
don't
we
want
go.
to. And then I realized he was never mad at me. That's just how he spoke.
Yeah. You know, and like, how much of that do you think that is like in our own heads that we're looking for reasons to get off the phone and not do these? Like, oh God, here it comes again. You know, and like so important, like you were saying, like the mindset up front. Where if like, man, this guy sold me before, here he comes again. Like, I think that's so important to go into with that notion that, you know what, this is going to be a good call.
It's going to be a good call. And if it's
Yeah.
not a good call, how can you turn it into a good one?
Yeah.
So don't screw it up when you're there. One of the lessons I learned by consuming content, education, and training is mirror and matching the client. I went on an expired listing appointment one time. It was a big biker dude, and he was carrying a little Pomeranian under his arm. And the guy was barking at me. What makes you so different? What do you think you can do to sell my house that didn't get done last time? As he's holding this little Pomeranian, this big biker guy.
Very different.
And I said, and I barked right back at him. And I said, well, what makes me different is I got inside your front door. All these other real estate agents that are calling you didn't even get this opportunity. So if I'm going to behave like this with you, how do you think I'm going to behave when I'm working with a buyer that is interested in your house? You think I'm going to let him off the hook so easy? And I just snapped right back at him. And he went, all right then. And he relaxed, holding a little puppy in his hand. He started petting the puppy. And I was like, and he's like, all right, I like it. Okay, let's go. Yeah. But like, you just don't take what happens on the surface as what's going to be your reality. And that's what I'm saying. World economy, your economy. So if you really, really are committed to ending strong this year, get super hyper focused on what it is that you're creating, what it is that you want, what do you want your story to be? And I promise you, if you put your business plan into action, start executing on it now, you will hands down crush the end of the year, and you will do more in these next 2.5 months than you would have ever thought possible. And the good news is there's less distractions this time of year than there was in the summer, right? You have time to focus on putting this stuff into action now. You get an opportunity to create what it is that you want for 2023 now, right? And you get to practice it to see how well it's going to flow for you going forward. So take the time when you have the time, super important, to really get clear on what it is that you want. And I guarantee 23 will be rocking when other people will be crying.
Let's go, Michelle. Michelle, man, you absolutely crushed this. So guys, we do have some questions in the chat. If you guys do have questions, we're going to spend the last 10 minutes answering your guys' questions. And I'll tell you what, the one thing that really I just love this quote from the moment you said it. There's the world economy and your economy.
Yeah.
Be in control of your own economy, create your business plan and stick to it. It does not matter what happens out there. It does not matter what happens with the interest rates. Stick to your economy. So Michelle, we got a Maurice here. Maurice, are you still with us? I'm going to read off your question. And if you can elaborate on it, that would be fantastic.
I want to say
Okay.
thank you to everyone that jumped on before you read questions, because if people got to bounce off early, like I love clicking on here and seeing all your faces, even if it's a still picture of you on a camera, I don't care. I'm just grateful that we had this kind of turnout and that these people on this Zoom are interested in building a better future for themselves. Like,
Yeah.
so bring those questions, and if you got to hop off, but I just appreciate everyone being in this room and you, Nick, organizing this. Thank you.
Oh,
All right,
absolutely. And we
let's
see
go.
you,
What's this
Anthony.
question?
Anthony, I saw you thumbs up. You're like, let's go.
Go. All right,
Let's
what do we
go. I
got?
love it. So
Love it.
Maurice, he said, for the guys that are not in coaching, what is a good tracking analyzer?
Oh, very good. What is a good you're gonna think I'm crazy. I know I said it.
I already think it. So you can,
you can just open up a Google Drive. Like you can literally open up a Google Drive and you can create it. It starts for me with this little stupid notebook, like I would just, and post-it notes in your car. If you gotta finish your conversations later in the car and write that stuff down, don't forget, and then bring your post-it note back in the house and then put it in your, into your spreadsheet, if that's what you got to do. But really just start. I think I have, actually, I can probably pull out, I got to find it. I had another little sheet that was created and it was like, number of contacts in a day, number of appointments,
Right.
So you can just sort of like write down 1 through 25, 50, whatever your number of contacts are going to be for the day, and just sort of circle that and then write down 1 appointment and then dump that into there. So you can start to just add up those columns and then see, okay, in the month of October, I called this many people and that equaled this many appointments. Right.
I love it. I love it. So JD, I think I saw this a couple of times in here. So guys, this like the slides, the business plan, just be on the lookout for the person who invited you to this. We'll be sending out the downloadables to them and they will be able to get you those, the downloadables, the business plan. You guys will be able to receive that, fill it out for yourself, copy the exact thing that she had there. And then we got Kathleen Smith. So Kathleen's asking, what's the best place to get numbers aside from your sphere of influence and past clients?
Oh, where to get phone numbers. It has gotten harder over the years, straight up.
Yeah.
It really has. So I get this conversation with other people that are in my office. They're like, how do you get for sale by owner's phone number? Go on forsalebyowner.com. Go on Zillow.com, click the little button that says buy owner. Like you can call them straight. They're right there. They're right in front of your face. You don't need to spend. This is the truth. I mean, I used to have a newspaper and a highlighter back in the day, for real, and only a phone, no computer. That's how I got started. But you don't need to spend the money when you're just getting started on calling these people on sophisticated systems like Vulcan 7 or Red X or whatever, right? Some of these phone numbers, look, the buy owners, if they want you to call them, they're going to have their number out there.
Yeah.
So start small with what you can get your hands on in your local market.
Absolutely. And, especially, I know you said it a couple of times, and it's a topic most people don't like talking about, which is getting on the phone, right? Here we go. So if the FSBO is on the do not call list, can we still call them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. And if they get grouchy with you and they say, I'm on the do not call, then you go, I'm so sorry. And you
that's all.
I don't know how I overlooked that one. You have a great day, sir, ma'am, whatever. Yeah, you hang up. That's it.
Well, and I think that's what it comes down to too. It's like, it's their willingness to have a conversation. Cause at the end of the day, they're trying to sell a property and that's what their ultimate goal is. Right.
Yep. They put their phone number out there for you to call them.
Right.
That one's sort of like not really going to happen on a FSBO do not call.
All right. I got a good one for this too, but I'll let Michelle go first. Cause like I said, I used to do the dialing 15 hours a day at a call center, but Michelle, here we go. How do you get in the right mindset before you make your first call and start?
I remind myself that the first call is the hardest.
Yeah.
The first call is the hardest. And the truth is, once you make that first phone call, you're in momentum. It's literally, like I said, the hardest part about going to the gym is getting in the car.
Yeah.
Like just get in the car, just put yourself in that space. I'm here, I'm at my stand-up desk right now.
Yeah.
And this is my prospecting desk. So just getting in this space and recognizing I just have to do one.
Yeah.
break it down to simple. I just got to do one, and then hang up with that one. I just got to do one.
Yeah.
I hang up with that one. I just got to do one. Right.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's it.
So I got some unique ones here too. Cause like I said, I would like, my job was to call 15 hours a day for real estate agents. Right.
Yeah.
So that was cause I need the money. I got kicked out of my house. We're not getting into me on this call. It's about Michelle, but I had to come up with some different unique ways and different trainings to figure out how to stay on the phone that long and be excited for each client. Right. So here are some things I would do before every dialing session. I would have my walk-up music. You know, like in baseball, how they have like your walk-up song.
Yeah.
Like I would have my walk-up music. I'll play before every freaking dialing session. One shot, one opportunity. Eminem, you know that song, guys.
Eye of the Tiger, baby. Whatever.
Every single time, right? And I would play that stuff, right? Here's what else I would do. And I'm telling you, this is a freaking game changer for the phones.
I like it.
Keep a mirror somewhere like right on your desk where you're dialing. Because if you are not smiling and dialing, you look at the mirror like this and you're like, man, I wouldn't want to talk to this person. Like it's a way to check yourself and see like, would you want to talk to you right now? Right. So I think that's a good one. I think also just going over your script role playing with somebody right before. The biggest thing is role play your objections. Because I feel like the thing that gets me, that thing that got me the most scared when I was on the phone is like, I'm going to get an objection that I don't know the answer to. Oh my gosh, if that happens, I don't know what I'm going to do. I will get in my own head. But if I went over my objections like 10 times and I'm sharp with objections on the phone, I feel like I'm a rock star.
Yeah.
And here's the last thing I would do. So I can't remember doesn't Beyonce like have a stage persona that she gets into like before she gets on stage? Because does anybody know it? Can anybody unmute and say that? What is that? I see some people. Like, what is it?
Sasha Fierce.
Sasha Fierce, right?
Sasha Fierce. That's it. Yes.
So I would do some insurance calling in the South, and I would call like this, and I'll be like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" Like, and they're like, "Whoa, Yankee, like slow down," like, and the South didn't like it. So I'll put on a hat, and I would be like, "Hi, this is Nick. I'm calling." Like it's a terrible accent, and some people even call me out on it, but it just got me going. So like, just think of different ways that you can make it fun and engaging. But yeah, those are some things I would do. Walk up music, that mirror, and then go over your objections before you get on the phone.
I would say I always have, which I even have on this conversation, like my notes in front of me, like I always have a piece of notepad or paper just to jot it down. Because if you can't type that fast, it'll stress you out.
Yeah.
And then I also have found over the years, standing up gets you energy.
Yes.
So if you're sitting down, like, "Hi, I'm calling about the home that's for sale. Is this the owner?" You know, like
to sell your home.
Your whole energy shifts and changes. So if you can stand up, then okay, great. You're doing so much better. So,
and I think this is there's also a great book on this, guys, Going for No. If you guys want to be a really rock star over the phone, that book changed my life for prospecting. Going for No teaches you to celebrate the no's. Teaches you that like, hey, most people say, I'm not leaving until I get 3 yeses. I'm not leaving until I get 20 hardcore no's. Like that's my goal for the day. I'm not leaving until I get 20 no's. And some days you almost want people to say no because they're like, dang, I got like 6 yeses today. Like, come on, give me a no. But like Going for No it's a great book if you want to really dive into prospect.
I'll tell you, you know, just somebody asked in here, where do you go for best scripts? You can download them for free. I should show you mine. They're sitting over here. They are haggard, but they're my lucky script. If I could grab them, the papers are like, it looks like parchment paper. They're like falling apart because I, would keep them on hand so much. They were lucky for me. And, but nothing feels better. I think Tom Ferry might have them, but Mike Ferry, I know for sure has them for free. You can download them just to get some conversations going. But there is nothing better than when you have a session of calling. I don't care who you're calling. Yeah. And you look over when you're done and you realize you just lined up like 3-5 appointments for the week.
Yeah.
You're like, and then you got to come back and do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. So yeah. So that's what also happens when you create your business plan. You're not giving yourself any margin to screw around. Yeah. Because when you set 3-5 appointments in a day, then you have no choice but to like do your market analysis at lunch.
Yeah.
Like, because you're heading on the appointment in the afternoon, like it puts you in a box. You have no choice but to like fill your mind with good stuff in the morning because you have no time for your education and training later in the day because you're on the road and you're
Right.
on the phone in the car too much to listen to your good juju stuff in the car in the afternoon. So it, you know, like it just, I'm just saying it'll put you into that framework of this is the cadence and this is the structure of the job. If you're just coming from a regular job, 9 to 5, or right now, and you're just getting into real estate, you had to show up every day at a certain time. You know, your first cup of coffee was gone by 10 a.m., right? Then you hit the restroom, then you get your lunch, like, then you do this little other project, then you get your lunch, and you're right. Like, this is exactly, you had a rhythm to your day. So create that rhythm to your day in real estate. It is controllable.
I don't know if they're making fun of me. They're like, "Hey Nick, is Michelle the speaker today, or are you?" I guess I might be speaking too much here.
Sorry.
But Michelle, Michelle, hey, I want to thank you so much for coming on here today. I really appreciate you doing that. And yeah, they're like, "Nah, Nick." Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on here, Michelle. I know you added a lot of value to people's lives, and I know you added a lot to mine. And I just love hearing what you have to say, guys. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for the email. Whoever invited you is going to be able to send you the downloadables, the business plan, and some of these things that we talked about here. If you guys do have any more questions, I think we got one more. Somebody said they had a question here that I missed. What's the leadership and development podcast? All right. What all right. Quick one, Michelle. I know we're a little low on time here. What's a leadership podcast that you listen to?
Leadership
and development.
Leadership. And development. Well, I wouldn't say I'm stuck just in the leadership thing.
Right.
I'm not. But like, I mean, let me just troll through my phone real quick. Like, who am I?
While you're doing that,
I'll
just kind of wrap up here, guys. Guys, make sure you thank the person who invited you to this. Make sure if you reach out to them, they'll be able to get you the business plan that you just saw, some of the downloadables, and other things as well. But guys, I want to thank Michelle so much for coming on here today, spending your quality time here. This is during your dialing session on your business. Oh, no, it's right after your dialing session. That's why you're like 12 o'clock. I could get it in, but it's right after that session. No, and I really appreciate your time here today. And again, Michelle, thank you so much. If you guys do have any more questions, you guys can make sure you ask the person who invited you. But Michelle, thank you so much. And guys, we do this every 2 weeks. So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Cool. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, everyone. Again, appreciate you.
Awesome. We'll see you guys.